Karibu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Tafadhali tunaweza keti chini. Viongozi wetu maaskofu mlio hapa, askofu wetu wa kanisa la AIC Kenya, askofu wetu wa kanisa la ACK hapa Nairobi, askofu wetu wa Methodist letu la Kenya, na askofu wetu emeritus from the PCA Church, viongozi wote pamoja na wanafunzi wa Alliance High School and Alliance Girls, good afternoon. Mjambo. Before I make my statement, when I was invited to be part of this very solemn occasion to celebrate 100 years of Alliance High School, I was that it was going to be a formal meeting. Therefore, I prepared a formal statement. I was warned that the standards in Alliance High School are very high. I have noticed from everything that has gone on here that indeed the standards here at Alliance High School are very high. I must admit that the alumni of this school have held this school and the esteem of this school to a very high standard. I work with many who serve in my administration with many people from Alliance. And they never stop to inform us and to remind us that they went to Alliance. And I like the fact that they are very proud of this great institution. The same way they are very proud of this institution, we should learn from them, and be very proud to be Kenyan. This is the Alliance, and you are an institution of many firsts. For those of us who were not privileged to be at Alliance, we went to other very great institutions. Just for good record, I was student number 616 in Wareng High School, a school that I am very proud of. And then I joined Kapsabet Boys High School, where I was student number 5065, one of the greatest institutions in the Republic of Kenya. And let me just, to set the record straight, Alliance came into being in 1926. Kapsabet Boys High School came into being in 1925. That's just a statement. Let me also tell you one more thing as we celebrate Alliance High School. Of the 5 presidents of the Republic of Kenya, of the 5. 2 of them are alumni of Kapsabet Boys High School. But do we say I am in no way trying to belittle the achievements of this great institution. I'm just making statements of fact. I know this is the alliance, but there is also the University of Nairobi. And again, the University of Nairobi is the only university in Kenya that has produced a president for our country. I guess you don't want me to continue. Distinguished guests, members of the Alliance community, ladies and gentlemen, very few institutions are privileged to mark 100 years of continuous existence, and fewer still do so while remaining faithful to their founding ideals. Alliance High School stands tall among that rare and distinguished company. Across the world, the institutions that endure, those that outlast leaders, outlast generations, and outlast the fleeting trends of the day, share a defining trait. They are anchored in values that do not bend with every passing season. A century ago, Alliance High School, or Bush, as is fondly known, began as a bold and visionary experiment, an effort to educate African boys to the highest possible standards, with character at its firm foundation. Subsequently, generation after generation, the influence of this great institution has permeated every sphere of life in our communities, across our nation, and beyond. From the outset, Alliance was not designed merely to teach generations of young men what to think. Rather, it endeavored to teach them how to think, and more importantly, how to stand for themselves, to cherish their families, to protect their communities, and to contribute meaningfully to the progress of our country and indeed humanity. There is much that we as a nation can learn from the Alliance story. At the core of this institution's century-long endurance stands a powerful triad of values that has guided and sustained it through every season. First, or being guided by the high standards that are non-negotiable. From the very beginning, the founders of this great institution understood an enduring truth. Vision without standards is mere illusion. This is a lesson we must take seriously and to made an uneasy pact with mediocrity, settling for the average, and at times choosing to go along simply to get along. That Kenya is to realize her full potential, we must demand the high standards of ourselves in our classrooms, in the public service, in enterprise, and in every aspect of our life. The second lesson we from the institution is that on any day, discipline and hard work triumphs over talent. This is perhaps has imparted to its students over the years. As we know, this to be the true, far beyond the classroom, talent is abundant in every generation. Ideas are plentiful in every decade. As a nation, we have produced in copious volumes from the sessional paper number 10 of 1965 all the way to edition 2030. Kenya ambitious development blueprints. What has often been tested is the discipline required to execute them consistently, diligently, and faithfully. For this reason, that over the past 3 years, we have deliberately focused on implementing chapter by chapter, page by page, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, the commitments upon which the people of Kenya to this administration. Some of these decisions have not been easy. Indeed, had we listened with caution, some of the progress now visible across the country would not have been possible. Today, in every part of Kenya, steadily changing as thousands of affordable housing units rise and families transition from substandard conditions to modern, dignified homes. In fact, after this occasion, I will be visiting the affordable housing across here in Kikuyu. In the health sector, nearly 30 million Kenyans are now covered under the Social Health Authority from the previous system, bringing the promise of universal health coverage closer to reality. In agriculture, our deliberate shift towards supporting production rather than merely subsidizing consumption is strengthening. At the same time, reforms in our education sector are restoring stability to institutions of higher learning while advancing the successful transition to the competence-based education system. And while there, let me be proud of what all this on matters education. I say this because if there is one single most important development that we should never compromise on, it is the education. It is the principal reason why, on assuming office and looking at the challenges that were there in our education system, controversy about CBC, there were huge of classrooms and learning spaces. There was a very stringent shortage of teachers in our classrooms, and there was a of funding for our tertiary and university institutions. In fact, 21 universities are technically insolvent. I want to thank parents, and other stakeholders of purpose that we worked together. The Presidential Working Party that I established. Today, I tell this audience, as I tell the nation, that we have substantially sorted out the challenges we had in our education sector. As has been said here, we have completed curriculum, and now we are undertaking competence-based education, matter that I believe in as the right trajectory for us as a nation. We have enhanced our budget, rightfully so, from about 500 billion in 2022 to 700 billion today. And in fact, in our 2026-2027, we are elevating 65 billion. Why? Because the education of our children is important and necessary. I have been informed by Mwalimu Chomba here that in the last 3 years, we have sent 32 teachers to this institution. Of the 100,000 teachers that we've hired, this institution has benefited from 32 teachers. I want to confirm to you that we are not yet done with making sure that there are sufficient teachers to teach our children. In the next budget, we're going to hire another 16,000 teachers to make sure that we close the gap that currently exists. I also want to state here that as part of making sure that that space is properly attended to, we've changed the funding model so that we make sure that our institutions of higher learning have the requisite resources to teach all our children at the university and all our TVETs. And of course, we have expanded the learning spaces. We built 23,000 classrooms. In Nairobi alone, we've done 800 new classrooms because, especially in Nairobi, we have a very serious challenge of learning spaces. And we will continue to make sure that education continues to be a right for every child of the Republic of Kenya, not a privilege for those who have the means. Ladies and gentlemen, the third lesson we draw from Alliance is the uncompromising pursuit of excellence, the discipline to give our very best, even when no one is watching, and when no one is pushing us, and even when there is no applause. This is the highest expression of character. True excellence is neither situational nor episodic. It is habitual. It is who you are when supervision is absent and when recognition is uncertain and when applause is not coming. If Kenya is to realize her full potential, if we are to build a nation that is truly great, then we must commit ourselves deliberately and without hesitation to the quiet but demanding values that have built enduring institutions such as the Alliance. We must commit to higher standards that we refuse to dilute, discipline that we practice consistently, and excellence that we pursue faithfully. Dear Busharians, allow me to make one additional observation. National institutions such as Alliance High School are enduring symbols of our collective pride and shared aspiration. Like our great public universities, they have been nurtured, strengthened, and preserved through the collective will, sacrifice, and commitment of generations of Kenyans. These institutions, therefore, do not belong to any one individual or group. Irrespective of where they are situated, they belong to all Kenyans. And it is our shared responsibility to protect their legacy, uphold their standards, and ensure that they continue to inspire excellence for generations to come. Looking at the alumni of this school, and just the sample of example that is here, Kenyans from across the Republic, over generations, have been admitted to this school. Amos Wako, I see Amos Wako here, our AG Emeritus, all the way from Busia. I see Judge of Supreme Court, the Honorable Lenaola, all the way from Samburu. The Honorable Amason Kingi, all the way from Magarini. I see Ekwe Turo here, all the way from Turkana. That is the DNA of a great institution called the Alliance. That is how we forge a nation. A blend of communities, religions, races. That is what makes Kenya strong. And that is why you say in the Alliance, strong to serve. And Alliance gives us the best example of what Kenya should truly be. And nobody should be allowed to dilute what Alliance stands for. Alliance stands for unity in diversity. We are here together from all parts of Kenya. And that is why in this Alliance, I'm very proud that the founders of this great institution did not think about the church they came from. It was the unity, the coming together of the Methodist Church, the Anglican Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Africa Inland Church, a church I belong to, that came together because in unity we are strong. And that is what defines us as a nation. And I say so proudly from this platform of the Alliance. That is the nation we want to build. The nation that is proud to be Kenyan. The same way I see the alumni of this school, whenever we meet them, you know, you have had the troubles we go through. Whenever we have 2-3 Alliance people, they really terrorize some of us. But the pride they have in this institution is what cements their brotherhood. And that is what we must do as a nation. And I want to tell the Alliance, what you are doing is a great example for our nation. And the government of Kenya and my administration is going to stand with you to make sure the legacy of this institution lives. It is the reason why when the Board of Management visited me when I was Deputy President, and they came because of the chapel. And again, they visited me in 2023 to come and explain to me what the requirements of these institutions were. And they told me then, 2 years ago, that, Mr. President, we want you to come for the 100-year celebration of Alliance High School. I'm very proud that I made it to be here today. And amongst the things they asked me and asked the government of Kenya to support this institution, I proudly stand here today to say that we have done our small bit in making sure that the history of this institution, the legacy of this great school continues. This morning, I was privileged to hand over a dormitory that will accommodate 640 men. Which we have built as the government of Kenya at a cost of 155 million. Complete, handed over. Again, this morning, I have handed over a dining hall which we have built at the cost of 88 million. Again, I have seen the road network. We still have some work to do. I did ask the Ministry of Roads to set aside 200 million. Already 100 million has been spent. We are going to spend another 100 million to make sure that roads, both in the Alliance Girls and Alliance Boys, and Alliance High School are completed. All right? I have discussed with the board chair and the principal of this school. There is a requirement for additional classrooms. Initially, they had requested us to build 21 classrooms. We have already provided 35 million to build those classrooms, but now I have revised that figure so that instead of building 21 classrooms, we are going to build for you 40 classrooms. And we are enhancing the budget from 35 million to 60 million. With only one caveat, that we change the contractor and hand over that assignment to my good friend Hinga to do those classrooms. Walimu, that is not a request. You just have to do it. Because we want to make sure that we build a modern structure for this great institution. I have also been, when I met the BOM, they also asked that the men here don't have a place for sports. And so I have asked the Ministry of Sports to build a sports academy here at a cost of 60 million shillings. And if you look at the budget that we are going to spend in Alliance, it's close to 550 million. And that is because this institution has a great history and serves the people of Kenya and the children, our children, from across the Republic. The girls are here, the beautiful daughters of Kenya, they are here. I did get a small letter from them, and they asked me 2.5 things. They asked for a dormitory, and I want to tell the girls, the Ministry of Housing is going to build you a dormitory at a cost of 155 million for 640 girls. You have asked me for 10 classrooms. We will change that. Instead of 10 classrooms, we will build for you 24 classrooms. So we're going to spend another 40 million shillings to build classrooms at the girls' school. And finally, I know some friends of mine, I met them the day before yesterday, and they told me about your science complex. Oh, is that the case? So the science complex, they told me that that science complex is halfway done. It was supposed to be a 200 million facility. Already half the money has been spent. So the Ministry of Housing is now going to take over the completion of that science complex, and we are going to spend 100 million shillings to make sure that it's completed. I say this very proudly, that as we develop this infrastructure, we are doing it because the education of the people of Kenya, the education of the children of our nation, is central to our transformation and progress as a society, as a people, and as a nation. It is my belief that no nation can progress beyond its capacity to think. So we must develop our capacity through education, science and technology. And as I stand here, our journey as a nation, which we have determined that others who were at the same stage with Kenya 60 years ago, today they are first world countries. There is absolutely no reason why Kenya cannot be as good as those in the first world, not, or even better. There is absolutely no reason. We have what it takes. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that we have what it takes to take our country to the next level. And so, dear Kenyans, we will do it. We must do it. whatever it takes, whatever it costs. We must get ourselves to where we want to go. I have had occasion, being with the privilege of being the leader of this nation, I have had occasion to speak to many leaders across the world. I have had occasion to sit down with the Prime Minister of Malaysia. I have had occasion to sit down and have a candid conversation with the Prime Minister of Singapore. I have had occasion to sit down and have a conversation with the President of South Korea. And in all those instances, I have come to believe that Kenya can be as good as those nations, maybe even better. And because this is an education occasion, I know we have agreed on what to do with our infrastructure, roads, energy. I know we have agreed on what to do with energy generation. I know what we have agreed and planned on how to transform our agriculture so that it supports manufacturing and industrialization. But knowledge, science and technology is going to play a very significant role. The development of the highest caliber of human capital so that we can generate new knowledge. Through innovation, we can solve problems. Through technology and science, we can think beyond our current circumstances. And it is the reason why I have said we are increasing our budget for research and innovation from 0.8% of our GDP to 2% of our GDP. It is the reason why I have set up a dedicated State Department for research, science, and technology, because as a nation, we cannot make progress beyond our ability to think. We must generate new knowledge. And next month, not next month, this is March, right? This month, we will be issuing charter for the Kenya Advanced Institute of Technology University in Konza, where we are going to begin to train at the master's level the highest caliber of human capital in the Republic of Kenya. When I had an occasion to sit down with the president of South Korea, and he explained to me the place of human capital development in their progress. That is why 2 years ago, I came to start this university. And we will be picking from the best from all our universities, the first-class students, so that we can develop our own human capital that understands our circumstances, that will help us solve our problems, that will help us think about new, innovative ways of taking Kenya to the next level. And so I'm very proud to stand here at this great institution with great history to say that we will journey together as a people, and we will pick up examples from many institutions, including this one, as we go forward into the next step as a nation. Finally, I have come here to launch a very significant and consequential project. As you all know, I have taken the championship of matters to do with climate change. How we as a nation are providing leadership on dealing with the challenge that comes with climate change. We've undertaken as a nation to do 15 billion. And as we do that, we must also deliberately begin to reduce our carbon footprint, reduce the use of biomass. And today, here at Alliance, we are launching a 45 billion shilling program to solarize 3,200 schools in the Republic, move them away from cutting trees into using solar for their cooking, for their lighting, and for their energy needs. This program has been undertaken by the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Education, and in partnership with Kenya Commercial Bank. I must commend Kenya Commercial Bank for their outstanding support to this project. I know the leadership of Kenya Commercial Bank. Please, round of applause to this great lady, Madam Kimtai. They have provided resources at a huge discount. It's not always easy to negotiate with banks, you know. But Kenya Commercial Bank has extended a credit facility with a 30% discount to enable us to solarize our schools and to reduce on the cutting down of trees and to reduce on the carbon print for our nation, but also to make sure that our learning is undertaken with green energy. So with now the pilot project that was carried out in 266 schools complete, and positively so, we are now beginning to roll out the program so that in the next 1 year, by God's grace, we will have solarized all our schools. The solar project is going to generate 780 megawatts of energy. I know there has been discussion between the different actors on what happens with the solar generated when schools are not in session. My instructions to the Ministry of Energy is that you buy that energy, even if it is at a discount, so that the schools can have some resources to develop other infrastructure. There is every reason why we should support this program. Again, to Kenya Commercial Bank, thank you very much for your partnership. That's why it's always good to have a great Kenyan institution in our midst. Sitaki kusema kuzidi hapo. I am overwhelmed by the greatness of this institution. You have done exemplary very well. You have contributed significantly to the progress of our nation. Many people who serve in Kenya in different places are beneficiaries of the great mentorship of this